So I'll just begin with a small invocation. Om Meeraravindaya vidmahe Atimanasaya dhimahi Tanno jyotihi prachodayat Vasudevam sutam devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Namaste again. Hello friends. I thank you for joining the session again, and I'm grateful to Dr. Sampath ji, Anjali ji and all the administration for this opportunity. We are now going into the second part. What is this Gita for self-control or Atmasayam? Before we begin, we had attended Anjali Madam's session, isn't it? On karma to karma yoga. Can somebody tell me a few points about that? Because it's very much connected to this.
The normal actions which we do every day, every second, is karma, normal actions. But when we do an action with full consciousness and focus, and in that action, before that action, we first offer it to the divine, invite the divine, and then we do the action. That is called karma yoga.
Okay, conscious action in short, isn't it? Wonderfully said.
Thanks.
Yes, conscious action offered. Yes, so you remember, offer, and then invite. Yes, you want to add something? Yes, please.
Sir, in today's times, in the world, yoga is reduced to just in physical activity or exercise. So today when Anjali ma'am told us about Karma Yoga and she defined all these Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga, it really cleared it out all for me and it gave me a new meaning of yoga that I will hold close to me all my life.
So this is the thing. First thing is, when we become conscious, we start offering. We say, Yad Yad Karma Karomi Tadakhilam Shambho Tavaradhanam. That is in Shiva Manas Puja. This person, Adi Shankaracharya, has made a beautiful rendition on the inside. But how can we enter or how can we start participating unless we get self-control? Self-control is very important. Self-control is important so that first you control yourself, then you will be able to control other things also. Forces are always at play. We don't realize it. We don't realize it without our realizing. We become instruments. We all learnt, isn't it? Whose instrument should we become? Divine's instrument. But if there is a divine force, is there something called undivine force? Yes. So there is a big risk also, isn't it? There is a big risk that you should not become an instrument of any undivine force. You should not allow all of these, raga, lobha, mada, moha, matsar to enter inside. So our Kurukshetra is not only on the outside. On the inside, there is always a need to be constantly vigilant. It is not something which has to be done only in certain times. Exam comes, so we prepare for exam. No, the exam is life only. And this exam, it is not about just the marks that you get, it is about how you participate in it. So every single day, we cannot afford to be relaxed. And the only way we can do that is by having self-control. And then there are some people who are having very good self-control. What do these people achieve? They achieve great things by their self-control only. If we don't have self-control, nothing great can be achieved. I think Dr. Sampath ji conducts many workshops on, like Ashtadhyayi and so many different things where people are having multiple points of concentration at the same time. We tell multitasking is not good, but these were in ancient times, people were able to multitask. Everybody knew so many different art forms, so many things. All this, the base is self-control, and that is why Madam has chosen for you to have this self-control as a very important thing. Sometimes without full perfection, some works are done. You feel you are managing. It is okay, but it is never okay. Yogaha karmasu Yes, you must have that excellence. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Unless you get that, you will not. It is actually very much connected, and it is just a extension of what Madam has told you. If you see the 6th adhyaya of the Bhagavad Gita, talks about it. Just yesterday I had talked to Dr. Sampath sir, and he told me this is the adhyaya which perfectly describes the importance of self-control and how we can achieve it. There are different ways. We will look at some of them here. Let us begin with the first shloka of the 6th adhyaya. Shri Krishna himself speaks. Shri Bhagavan uvacha. Anashritaha karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sasannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriyaha. Shri Krishna said, he who dutifully works without desire, him the expectations of fruits cannot cage. And he is said to be the sannyasi, the yogi, the real sage, not he who renounces actions and kindles not the sacrificial fire. Who is that real yogi? I think you must all have heard of this book, The Monk Who Sold His. Yeah, isn't it? Now, it's sometimes very easy to sell your possessions and leave everything, isn't it? But the Gita does not ask you to leave everything. It asks you to even embrace the material life, divinize it and transform it. Can we not try to be a monk in the Ferrari? Is it possible? Yes, that is exactly what so many generations, so many people said. Wealth is the source of all evil. Is wealth the source of evil? Somebody said yes. Anybody? Okay. Yes. How many of you agree? He says wealth is the source of all evil. Yes or no? Yeah, please go on. Yes, somebody wants to say something. You raise your hand. Yeah, please tell me. Yes.
So he said that you asked ki wealth is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Wealth is not the root of all evil. People are having wealth in the world. The greed for wealth is the root of all evil.
Absolutely. Perfectly said. Yes, that's true actually. Because wealth is what? The manifestation of Goddess Lakshmi on the material plane. A lot of people, they decided, no, I am living a spiritual life, let me move away from it. And in that process, what happened? All the wealth from the good people went into the hands of wrong people, and what will happen? Will the divine's wish be manifested? No, so everybody must strive to become materially also strong. And that same way when you are doing action also, wealth does not only mean the wealth of what we can say, a big bank balance. Wealth can also mean blossoming of flowers in your garden. Wealth can mean prosperity and beauty manifesting everywhere. And the real sannyasi, who is that real sannyasi? Krishna is telling, somebody who is not bound by desire, who is not trapped by this cage of expectations. He has surrendered all to whom? To the divine. Such a person, naturally everything is the divine's, then there is no fear of losing, isn't it? If you have surrendered everything, I think we all saw Isha Upanishad's opening verse, I think everybody has memorized it also. Isha vasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita magradha kasya swed dhanam. All that is but his, living, non-living, everything in the world that is. Knowing the owner, joyously forsake. Whatever comes naturally, you can experience the joy and take. That is the sannyasi. If you see the first adhyaya, Krishna asks you to become completely free of any expectation, free of any kind of, because expectation binds us. I want my friend to talk in a particular way. Can you guarantee a friend to talk the way you want? If you do that, that is probably you are trying to manipulate and psychologically brainwash someone. You can't control, isn't it? So if we just let go, little expectations, then you can be free. And if you are free and doing actions, then you are the real yogi. Because here you say, who is not a yogi, he says, the one who does not light the fire of sacrifice, the one who does not know how to do yajna, the one who does not sacrifice to the divine, that person is not doing yoga. We all want to become yogis or not? Does Krishna want all of us to be yogis? Yes, Krishna says, Tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna. So what is this yogi going to do? What is Arjuna going to do after becoming yogi? Start yoga classes. What is he going to do? He is going to perform divine action. What is a divine action? Everything. Yoga class can also be divine action, your writing can be divine action, you are listening, you're teaching. If you listen in a yogic way, what's going to happen? You are going to hear what they call Shruti. You are going to hear what the yogis heard from higher planes of consciousness. Somebody was asking a doubt, how do I go beyond the mind? Not by thinking about it. You cannot go just by thinking about it, you have to do action. That is why Madam told you about Karma Yoga. Karma must become Karma Yoga. Anybody does any action, it does not become transformed. A player is playing a game. If the player plays a divine game, say badminton, what is going to happen then? The smash is going to be perfect. The drop will be perfect. The movement will look like a dance. And that is the rhythm. And that is the rhythm of Krishna in the universe also. There is a rhythm. That rhythm is everywhere. That is the truth. So the first aspect which Krishna has told in this, when we look at the chapter of self-control, is this. Have zero expectations. From whom? From everybody, even from God. Even from God. That is difficult, but that is important. Just don't bind, because expectations bind you. When we go into the second shloka, Krishna clarifies further. Yam sanyasamiti prahur yogam tam vidhi pandava nahi asanyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kashchana. This, O Arjuna, is what they call renunciation. The true state of yoga, the integral union. He is not a yogi who has renounced not desire, not the one whose mind yearns for objects to acquire. That person who has not given up desire, he cannot be a yogi. Imagine somebody is doing dhyana, but desire for pakoda is not gone. Your eyes are closed. You're trying to do dhyana on maybe Vishwarupa. And in the head, okay, will I get this chutney with pakoda? What's going to happen with that dhyana? Will that dhyana take you ahead? No. Did you hear the chanting of Dr. Sampadananda Mishra ji? What were you able to hear in it? You felt an intensity, isn't it? How did that intensity come? Absolute focus, that's the word. Through absolute focus, he not only knows the words, he knows the root words also, their meanings, and it is not just singing, it is singing probably by visualizing. With eyes closed, the entire, watching the Vishwarupa, it is something so special. When you have been introduced to it at such a young age, why not try to experience it? There are people who have got a darshanas also. One person had got a darshana which was even in depth than what is there in the Vishwarupa described. The experience was shared to us and we were shocked. It was equally hair-raising just to read that. The smell, the fragrance, the height of Krishna, the height of Arjuna, difference, everything was visible. But how is all of this possible? Is it going to happen just like that? I'm going on the park and, I got a darshan of Krishna. No. You will have to do sadhana. You will have to do efforts. As a student, what is your aspect? Your aspect of karma yoga is what? Not only study, to grow integrally, physically, mentally, emotionally. Krishna tells, idam shariram kaunteya, in the kshetragnya vibhaga, the body is the base. So strong bodies and strong minds, you have been taught, isn't it? Importance of mind. And there is something else. Like my Guruji always says, there are 4 dimensions of a human being. Man, I'll just tell it, you can repeat after me. Mana, Sharir, Prana, Buddhi. So for the mind, what can you do? How to strengthen your mind? Anybody? Everything is sadhana. So for mind specifically, what can you do? How do you improve your mind?
So we can increase our concentration by doing yoga on the daily basis, sir, because there are some asanas which help our, which include meditation. So, sir, they actually improve our concentration by a lot.
Okay, yes, by this you can do it by yogasana. Even if you do consciously artwork, that can also become a kind of improvement of your concentration, and slowly it can be like what many in the ashram practice, dynamic meditation. And sometimes if you are walking consciously, Sri Aurobindo would do a lot of walking, but it was a meditation. For people who got to see, they were blessed. But just the particular movement, so to improve your mind, you'll have to first focus. You'll have to focus. There are ways. In this adhyaya, specifically the 6th adhyaya, Krishna gives his technique of meditation also. It's a very special technique, very simple one. If we get the time, we'll look at that also. So meditation helps, concentration.
As we got a task to take a sankalp, so we can take a sankalp which, as we got a task, which we can do every day with a focus and concentration.
Yes, it is actually
Which
so
will,
important. Yes, taking a decision. I am deciding today to strengthen my mind. I am deciding I am not going to get unhappy. It's in our hands or not? Whether or not things happen according to my wish. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's guru. Anybody knows of his name? Samartha Ramdas Swami, if you have heard of him. He had something called Manache Shloka. Shlokas for the mind. In the morning, think of good things, think of the name of Rama. Simple shlokas. But, like he said, a sankalpa. So you must take a sankalpa with the strength of your mind that you want to get strong. Same way, after mana comes sharira, a physical body. How do we take care of our physical body? Yeah, that's also important. Eating good food, eating healthy food. Junk food and everything, we feel it tastes very good for the tongue, isn't it? But it's not good for the body. How are we? If you see athletes, there are some of them who do very big tapasya of the physical body, isn't it? I don't want to add even 20 grams of weight or 50 grams of weight onto my body. A sadhak also understands the importance of the body, and Sri Aurobindo has specifically told that we cannot ignore the body if we want to become yogis. The food that we eat and the exercises. I think you all must have heard Surya Namaskara. Yes, you did it today also. So wonderful. So when you are doing that, it's one of the perfect exercises. Add the aspect of mind dimension to it also. Consciously do a Namaskara to the Surya. Each and every asana, do it consciously. It becomes a prayer and offering also. And physical body also participates. Man, Sharira, Prana. What is Prana? Prana is not the soul. Prana is the life force. We can call it, in English it's a Sanskrit word, is very nice, prana, but in English you can maybe call it oxygen or something. It may help to understand a little bit. But prana there's always a movement, isn't it? There are different vayus moving inside of our body. So pranayama is one of the exercises of the prana. Becoming conscious of your breathing. How many of you are breathing? Please raise your hand. Everybody is breathing, isn't it? Are you breathing, or breathing is happening on its own? On its own, involuntarily. The lungs are are you giving instruction to the lungs? No. So we are alive because we are breathing only, isn't it? Imagine lungs say, I want to break now, enough. What's going to happen? All our dreams, everything will disappear, isn't it? So the very fact that we are alive because of the breathing, and yet are we conscious of it? No. Just breathe out, put your hand under your nose and breathe out. Tell me, which nostril, both nostrils are active or one nostril is active? One nostril. One nostril, isn't it? Anybody with both? Wow, I think that's really a kind of a yoga siddhi, because the yogis who are consciously doing the meditation, doing pranayam, both their nostrils get active. Otherwise, generally, when you breathe out, only one nostril is active. Sometimes you get a cold, isn't it? You are not able to sleep. What does the mother say? Better sleep the other side, you will feel better. And then you go to sleep, because one nostril is sufficient. But imagine if you have both nostrils activated. What is going to happen? It's called Ida Pingala. Both are active, you get a great awakening. Your Sat, Asat, Vivek, Buddhi also will become, it's like having 100% charge in your phone all the time. That's like a siddhi only, no? Everybody has the problem, my phone gets discharged. Like that your body also. So man, sharir, prana and buddhi. Buddhi is the fourth dimension. All four have to be done by integral yogis. All four have to be taken care of. Otherwise what happens? One only you develop and the remaining you don't develop. What is the use? Have you heard of this problem of over-specialization of antlers for the antelope? What happened is these antlers grew so much. The antelope was so proud of, wow, what beautiful antlers I've got. And when he looked down upon the other gazelles, look at you, you don't have anything. But when the hunter attacked, these antlers got stuck in some tree's branch, so they could not escape. So what has happened? Over specialization, meaning you have to, it's like you eat. Do you eat more than you chew? Sometimes we do that, we have stomach problem, no? Like that, knowledge also, our buddhi has to grow, what we understand, what we read, because many times people read so much without understanding. So all four are important aspects we must keep in mind. Let us remember we are going to do something. Buddhi will, you will easily, your educational syllabus will give you enough fodder for the buddhi. Along with that, you are being introduced to great spiritual texts by, this is a very special opportunity in your school. I am telling you, do not waste that opportunity. You will not find another school like this. And the time which is there, which you get now, will not come again. So remember, if you are ignoring any of these factors, learn to focus on it, because without that, you will progress definitely. In this atmosphere, you will progress. But if you want to progress to the highest, to become what is the representative of the divine, that is a big aim, isn't it? And that is the aim that we should all aspire. If Lokmanya Tilak Maharaj had said, Swaraj is my birthright, I shall have it, I think it is time now, we are free in India, we should have another sankalpa. Sakshatkar is my birthright, I shall have it. I have to take it. I have to realize it. Not in another birth, not 500 births later, but now. This birth, Krishna also says, Ihaiva, here itself it is possible in one life. But in that one life, we cannot waste it in distractions. So we have to recognize that. Let us go further. And such a person who is not allowing his inner will to take over and is getting carried away, he cannot be called a sannyasi, is very straightly told, or a real yogi. That cannot be a yogi who is running after desires. That is what Krishna says. He goes on further talking about the beginners and the masters. Is there anything common in between beginners and masters? Anybody?
They both start from the same place.
Wow, what a beautiful and quick answer. Excellent. Just give a clap for that. Excellent. Yes, yes. And you know, does the base change, base principles? Do they change after a person becomes master? No, no, the fundamentals remain the same, isn't it? So even a beginner with very strong fundamentals, such a beginner can also challenge a master in the fundamentals at least. So that is very important. And this shloka of the Gita, Krishna tells something very similar about the ascending yogi. The yogi who is moving ahead with that intensity of aspiration. And the one who has already reached the highest state. What is it that is common? That is told in this particular shloka. Arurukshor munir yogam karma karanam uchyate yoga rudhasya tasyaiva shamaha karanam uchyate. And for the ascending yogi, it is thus affirmed that action causes his ascent to be confirmed. And for he who has already ascended, self-mastery is the cause by which he has transcended. So you see, for the beginning yogi who is walking ahead on the path, how is he walking ahead? What is his fuel? It is his karma. You are students right now, you are progressing, you are going to become great citizens of the world, not just Bharat. So when you are going to become citizens of the world, what is going to take you ahead? It is your karma, it is your actions. So remember, the karma which is done consciously. If you practice karma yoga, you will rise up to that particular status, which is that of the exalted yogis. And how did the yogis become exalted? Again, it was self-mastery. The karma is done because of self-mastery. What happens with sankalpa? You get siddhi. It is when you have a strong sankalpa, then these realizations can come. Otherwise, like in, what is siddhi anyway? Siddhi is like an accomplishment. It is like one of the, like we now in our Ayurvedic unit, we manufacture Ayurvedic tailams. When we put different herbs into it and we start boiling, it takes several hours. But when the final end point, sparsha, gandha, rupa, all of that we will see. That time when we see the end point, when we realize it, it is called a siddha taila. Meaning it is complete, it is accomplished with all the, what we can say, the medicinal qualities of the herbs have entered. So something like that, if you want to go ahead, it is by self-mastery. Because if you are a slave of desire, you become a slave of the world. There is a nice subhashit in Sanskrit. I will tell it, you will just listen to it. Asha yaye dasaste dasaha sarvalokasya asha yasi dasi tesham dasayate lokaha. The one who is a slave of desire is a slave of the world. In the corporate world, there is manipulation happening always. And when people find out this person has one desire, that desire is the kryptonite of that Superman. Everything is perfect, but one desire, that desire is used as for manipulating. Somebody who is a slave of desire is the slave of the world. And for someone who has mastered desire, well, that person, the entire world is ready to bow like a slave. And Sri Aurobindo has told, isn't it? To be a servant of God is good, but to be a slave is better. How can being a slave be good? Anybody? Can we try it? This is a big, beautiful quote of Sri Aurobindo, where he asks us to not be servants of God, but slaves of God. What is the meaning of this? All right, yeah, wonderful.
The difference between a servant and the slave is that the servant expects something to come back from the way of God, but the slave will not accept anything from God.
Excellent, absolutely beautiful, excellent. Just adding on to your answer, but isn't it boring to be a slave of God?
So, but in this case, since the God is the
Supreme.
is the supreme and he is the Satchit Anand, and so from that we'll gain Anand, sir, because to serve God we'll be serving the people, and the real joy is in the serving of the people.
Absolutely, beautiful answer. A slave of God does not mean a slave of any human being or any other system. A slave of God is the Raja of this world. That is why we have had so many names of great Kavis. They had a Das, isn't it? To themselves. Kali Das, Tulsi Das, Kabir Das. These are all, they are Rajas of the world, isn't it? They are exalted. They are respected. Entire, what we can say, understanding and awakening, they receive the consciousness. Gita, Krishna also says, somebody feels, I don't have knowledge, I don't have wisdom, what to do? Krishna says, no problem. Dadami buddhi yogam tam, I'll give you the knowledge, I'll give you the wisdom. There was one Shishya of Shankaracharya, his name was, everybody would call him Giri. Giri was little bit, people would laugh at him and say, hey, he's not so smart, he's not God. He would ask his seniors, when will I get realization? When will it come to me? They say, it will come sometime. Some would mock him. One day a pravachan was going to be there and he's missing. That time one student even said, the master was waiting for his arrival. They said, why are we waiting for his arrival? If he's anyway going to probably sleep only, he is not going to understand anything, why are we waiting? But the Guru is a Sadguru, a true one. He says, no, he is going to come. Wait. And suddenly he comes running because he has got a great inspiration. And suddenly he starts chanting something which is called Totakashtakam. I am not very well versed in the Sanskrit meters, but among the meters it is said to be the most difficult, one of the difficult meters. And he composed an Ashtakam in Stuti of his Guru. In that Stuti, his name changed later on. They made him Totakacharya and he becomes the head afterwards. And how did he get it? He was just offering service to his Guru. That is why in the morning we saw him, Krishna also went, isn't it, to Sandipani Ashram. So how is this transformation? It is very much possible. I had a very nice practical modern example of a Guru-Shishya relationship. You all must have heard of Dr. Abdul Kalam? Yes. Well, I had the good fortune of interacting. He had read one of my poems, he liked it, but his Shishya, Arun Tiwari ji, have you heard of him? He is always silent. He identifies himself as disciple of Dr. Kalam. He was advisor when Kalam sir was president also. He has written this book, Wings of Fire. You must have all heard of Wings of Fire, isn't it? See, there's a co-author also. Everybody remembers only the first name. And interestingly, he was a mechanical engineer, and through poetry I got a chance to connect with him, but something very interesting happened in his life. He served Kalam sir like a Shishya because he had identified his Guru in Dr. Kalam. So he completely, whatever he would say, would follow. Now he developed some special missile system, and in that missile system there was a special alloy which was developed, which was never possible in India at that time. Now we are doing engineering marvels, but that time we didn't have that much of engineering technology, but he managed to do it. And after successfully completing it, his teacher tells him Now use this knowledge for developing something in the civilian medical side. Is there a connection between engineering and medicine? That way, directly. He's like, he's done mechanical engineering, what to do, and that to missile technology, how to do. But you see, a person who is dedicated to his guru, willing to serve, he takes the plunge. He ended up making India's first coronary heart stent. He called it, with working with a cardiologist. I just asked him, sir, how did you do it? He says, we engineers are good at jugad. I said, how is it, sir? He said, see, whatever is required, I learned from the cardiologist. I didn't learn about the full human physiology, but I learned about what is the requirement for this. And he developed a very low-cost stent, which not only helped India, but in Africa also. There was a pan-Africa network between India and Africa. So many people got benefited. But how is it? It is by serving sincerely his guru. So this is important. If we do not have a guru, we should start identifying. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum, identify Sri Aurobindo as a guru, but identify someone who can teach you, who can take you. Otherwise, how will you go ahead? They say, Guru bina jnana kahan se paun? How will we identify? How will we receive? So this aspect of surrendering and serving, that is the source of the strength. Everybody must be knowing about Anjaneya or Hanuman, isn't it? What was his greatest power? He had all the siddhis, no? What was the source of his strength?
So his strength was Sri Ram.
Absolutely, perfect. And it is like you want Sri Ram to become Prasanna,
His guru.
Yes. Because Sri Rama was everything for him. That's why. And what did he do? How did he get his siddhi? It was by self-control. Manojavam ma rutatulya vegam jitendriyam buddhimatam varishtam vatatmajam va narayuta mukhyam Sri Rama dutam sharanam prapadye. How is he? Jitendra. Somebody who has overcome his indriyas. So this aspect of becoming self-conscious and controlling yourself, it is very important. Can we outsource this to somebody? Can we ask, I want self-control, please get it for me. Can somebody go to the market and get it? No. How will we get it? Practice. Meditation does not work. How many of you feel meditation is difficult and does not work? Be honest. Okay, this is something in the start. I will not raise my hand now, because when I joined my teacher at 21, he saw me, he told me to do some meditation. I was sitting like a monkey, scratching my head, looking left, looking right. Then he said, no, sit in one place, do meditation for this much time. I went and said, Ji, ye to jam nahi raha hai. He told me, kam se kam acting karo. And he went. I was surprised. I again went as if I had a doubt. I said, doubt, did you really tell it seriously? Kam acting karo? He said, haan, acting karo. And he went away. Then I took it sincerely, because Guru has said, so let's act. How do you act like you are meditating? Don't turn left, don't turn right. You feel like somebody is going to call you. No, nobody is going to call you for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Don't scratch your head. You'll feel like immediately there's a lizard on your head or something is coming. No, nothing to worry. Just for 5 minutes, 8 minutes. Slowly it will happen naturally, because that is how you start doing Karma Yoga. When you start, until you start, it will not happen. So this is something very essential that we have to try. Because if we don't do this, we will not get realized. Can we do a small practical of a technique which Krishna has only given in the Gita? Yes? For say 2 minutes. Can we try that now? Okay. So there's a very beautiful shloka. I'll just try to get it. Prana pano samo krutva. Krishna says, keep your... Okay, let us all sit as... if anybody is sleeping, you'll have to get up for 2 minutes. You can sit erect. Yes. Back straight. Don't have to fold your legs. Sit in whichever asana is comfortable. I think everybody is breathing. Yes. So while we are breathing, what we are going to do is we are just going to observe our breath. Okay. The technique's important aspect is prana, pano, samakrutva. Make it equal. Equalize what? Your inhalation and your exhalation. Everybody has different lung capacities. So for somebody who wants to try for 2 seconds inhalation and you are comfortable with it, do a 2-second inhalation. If somebody wants 3 seconds, it is up to you. But how much time you take for inhalation, that much time you take for exhalation. Best aspect would be, because mind will go running away. what is there for the snacks, what is there for dinner. These thoughts will come when you try meditation. So keep your mind busy in a mantra. We can try think of a mantra which is there in the Upanishad also, Soham. So just so, when you say so in your mind, inhale, and when you say hum, exhale. Let us do it just for 2 minutes slowly, okay? Hari Om. Soham, Soham. Same time for inhalation, same time for exhalation. No looking front, back, sideways, nothing. Just close your eyes, be relaxed. No pressures. Just relax and observe your breath. You don't have to do the breathing also. Just observe. Try to let it be equal. Soham. 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 Hari Om. Yes. So, okay, yes, you can rub your eyes, rub your palms and touch your eyes. Yes, anybody can just pick up the mic and tell me what you felt.
When it happened, I felt calm as everybody was silent.
Okay.
And with this, my mind had concentrated on my breath. And I was focusing more on my breath than focusing on what is next, what's going to happen. That's
okay. It gave you a lot of calmness, isn't it? Excellent. Yes, anybody else?
When I closed my eyes, I started focusing on my breath. I started breathing slowly and I got calm.
You got calm.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I have a bit of fear from the dark.
Okay.
So my mind started visualizing scary faces.
Okay.
So I got scared once, but I kept
You kept control of it. Okay,
yes, sir.
Very good.
So when we initially started, it was quite difficult to manage inhalation and exhalation.
Okay.
But with time, gradually it went smoothly. And then when we came to attend the session, what I regularly did, I started it from the retreat only.
Okay.
I started it to remember, offer and invite.
Okay.
So initially I forgot it, but during this,
You remember.
I offered this session to Divine.
Oh, lovely, lovely, wonderful. Yes. Yes, please.
This experience is quite familiar for me because I meditate 15 minutes daily at my home.
Yes.
So when I came to the spiritual retreat, I thought I had to wake up 15 minutes earlier so that I can meditate. But at the spiritual retreat, I don't have to take any extra time because if we sum up all the time, we focus on ourselves, the 1 minute break. So it is more than 15 minutes. So I like it. And as I've mastered this thing, the breathing, focus on the breathing, I can feel other things that are going on in my body right now. Like my heartbeat and the circulation of blood.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I felt very peaceful as my eyes was closed and I was focusing on my breath as everybody was silent. A little bit I was distracted by I was feeling thirsty, but it was quite difficult to come back to my thoughts of focusing on my breath. But it was a good experience.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So this actually generally, even water when you want to boil. So if you see water boiling also, do you heat then off, then heat again? No, isn't it? Steadily you have to boil. So like that, this meditation, though we did for 2 minutes, does not mean you have to do only for 2 minutes. You, like Madam also said, regular practice, abhyas can help. But you will be surprised, one person, because in the online class we take for Gita, that time we conducted for 2 minutes. This person gave a name to it, called it 2-minute meditation and told 1 year I have been practicing 2-minute meditation. Only 2 minutes. But even those 2 minutes were beneficial for him. So let us try to meditate. This is a technique told by Krishna in the Gita only. It is very easy to be done. This is easily done by anybody and it has a lot of benefits. What happens is you become calm. When you become calm, you can take decisions. You say you have difficulty in taking decisions. What is right, what is wrong? What is Shreyas, what is Preyas? How will you identify? One is your heart will tell you. Another, when your mind is calm. When your mind is calm, they say your Viveka Buddhi is Jagrut. We all have something called Sat, Asat, Vivek, Buddhi. Clearly it can tell this is Sat, this is Asat. To make that Jagruti, you have to awaken. Otherwise, what happens? The Vivek Buddhi goes on vacation. Then we get in trouble. So let us all decide, let us all take a sankalpa that we will take some time out to meditate. Why? Not because Sushrut Bhaiya told, I am simply parroting what is there in the Gita, because Krishna has asked us. It's important, no? It makes a difference, isn't it? When the Adhyaksha says something, it is so different. I go and say, hey, don't spit on the road. Will anybody listen? Nobody will listen. But Modi ji says, pichkariya band karni hai. Immediately we see Indore becoming the most cleanest place in India. Because that is the adhikara. So the adhikara of Krishna is there. Connect, remember, offer, invite Krishna to sit with you in your meditation session. That would be the greatest experience, because imagine Krishna meditating. The absolute silence and peace. If somebody is an artist, you can try drawing how Krishna may appear when he is meditating. It is said there is such a sea of peace. He is that Shanti Sagar. Even the hair on his body does not move in his silence. That silence, will you want to experience it? Yes. Why? Because it's important. This particular technique helped me a lot, because once a best friend of mine betrayed me, and I was so shocked with that. I started getting frustrated on the inside. I was not able to, I thought I have good control over my mind. I thought I am able to control. I was like, what is this? I was feeling anger. And his anger was not settling down only. And I thought, Sushrut, this is very bad. If you read the Gita and you are supposed to control your anger, you cannot get angry. How do I do it? And I thought, let us try this technique, Krishna's technique. You can do it any time of the day. It was late in the night. I thought, chalo, let us do it. It took me half an hour to be able to do for 15 minutes, because half an hour I was fighting with my thoughts. The anger was coming, I am trying to push it out, again it's coming, again going. But when I slowly started focusing on my breath, the entire internal scenario changed, and that made me receptive to receive some very wonderful idea late in the night, which made a big difference the very next day for me. If I had not received it, it would have been. So many times, most of the decisions we take in emotions are what? Wrong decisions only, no? When we are very emotional and frustrated, can you take a right decision? No, you cannot. So you have to control, and the only way you can control is by practicing. Yes, this meditation technique is also useful, and integral yoga is something so special that you don't have to specifically divide anything as meditation and not meditation. You are listening to the class with concentration, your physics theorem will enter inside of you. You will not know where it will be useful afterwards, because you have listened. I got a chance to work with geneticists. After mechanical engineering, there is no connection, no, with genetics department. But mitosis, meiosis and all things which I learned in school, it was very much useful afterwards. I was lucky I did not sleep in that class. Otherwise, that person would have discovered. I had a great experience also in that conference. So this aspect, let us be aware. If we are aware, your every moment will become a wonderful moment of learning and growing. So this can be, all of us take a decision like this, that we will take some time out to meditate. If you see I told you one thing of working on 4 things of your body, isn't it? 4 things of your being. Man, Sharir, Pran, Buddhi. Do you need somebody to tell you this is not good for your Sharira, or your stomach only tells you what is good for your Sharira or not? Stomach tells us, no. Our body tells us this is not good, I am feeling heavy. I had gone to a badminton tournament disobeying my coach. He had told not to eat certain foods, but I thought opponent is very easy. This opponent I have played before. So this doubles match is going to be very easy. So me and my friend, culprit was my friend only, he convinced me, let us eat biryani before the match. I had my biryani. I was happy. And then before the match, when we started dribbling, now did I do good to my Sharira by eating biryani before a match? No, not at all. So he also walked towards the net, I also walked towards the net, and he was like, Abhi pasina chhut raha hai match ke pehle. Because body has now lost a lot of energy in digestion. I am not free in my movement. So when you become conscious of your Sharira, you will know what is right, what is wrong. Same way, mind, what is helping you. Because Dr. Mishra ji told us a very important Mahavakya in this particular Adhyaya which must be covered. We will look at it. You know, your mind is your friend and your enemy. Do you agree? Yes. Krishna is also telling the same thing in the Gita. And he's also telling when the mind is the friend, when is the mind enemy. What do you do when you know when the mind is a friend and enemy? If your mind is a friend, what will you do? You will go with your friend and enjoy, isn't it? We can just say, no, don't mind, don't avoid, just avoid that. No, avoid that suggestions of the enemy, isn't it? Do you listen to your enemy? No. Then why? So that is what we'll see. We'll look at 2 shlokas more. We look at shloka number 5 and shloka number 6 of the 6th adhyay. Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanah. This looks like a riddle, no? So many times Atma is coming. Atma is going to help you. Atma is your friend. Atma is your enemy. What is the meaning of this? The self alone can set the self free if you allow it to unsuppressed be. For the self is the self's closest friend and also the worst nemesis that the self can portend. This is referring to our mind only, isn't it? They say, man changa to hath mein Ganga. It's so simple as that. Otherwise, you will manifest a Brahma Rakshas also because your mind is buried. Now, he beautifully handled the attack of the mind, isn't it? While meditating, our friend shared his experience. It is so nice within a short span. Normally, nobody can do in the first time itself. But he overcame his fear of darkness. I know so many grown-up people who are still afraid of darkness. I don't know what they think. Suddenly a ghost will come or what will come. They get scared. Somebody else says darkness is only Shiva and I can see oneness of the divine in darkness also. That's again an understanding, no? Same darkness appears scary to somebody, same darkness appears beautiful and quiet and perfect. That is all the game of the mind. So this we must definitely understand. If you see this particular shloka, the self can alone set the self free, meaning with your mind you can make yourself completely free as well. How? If you allow the self to unsuppressed be, if you are giving the freedom inside and allowing it to grow. Self is the self's closest friend and also the biggest foe, biggest enemy, worst nemesis. Your enemy in real life may not be that dangerous how much your mind can be at times. You imagine the worst case scenarios. Nothing bad is happening and still, no, this is bad. And he gave a very practical example. How did he do? He saw some scary faces when he closed his eyes. Did you listen to the scary faces? Why? Because that was not the friend speaking, isn't it? Who was speaking then? Mind only, but mind is a friend and mind is enemy, no? So that was your friend mind or enemy mind speaking? Yes, that was the enemy mind speaking. So what do you do then? Take it out. Don't listen. No suggestions to be taken. Push it aside. Absolutely. So let us see the next shloka where the solution to this riddle is there. Krishna says, Bandhuratma manastasya yenatmaivatmana jitaha anatmanasta shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. The self as a friend can be thus considered when the lower self's pull has been conquered. But when the higher self one does not know, then the self is the self's greatest foe. The self as a friend can be thus considered when the lower self's pull has been conquered. But when the higher self one does not know, then the self is the self's greatest foe. When do you consider the self as a friend? When you are able to pull yourself out of this lower suggestions, like our friend gave an example. Sometimes we get other suggestions. I am not good. I am hopeless. Worse things are going to happen to me. This is only how I am. I am bad. I am weak. I am incapable. These are all enemy mind suggestions, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. Do we listen to them? No. What happens when you listen to them? We go on the wrong path. We can destroy ourselves. A very dangerous enemy it is. There was one time I felt so bad about myself because after I had joined my guru, some bad things were happening. I thought it was because I joined it's happening. That is the enemy mind speaking, no? You know, the enemy mind told, go away. If you go away, good things will happen. Now, is it a good suggestion? Thank God I didn't listen to that suggestion. It would have been so dangerous, isn't it? So something like that we must understand in our life. Sometimes we get wrong suggestions also. It's okay, no? Suggestions can be taken from one ear and thrown out of the other ear. Like, again, example, what is your name again, please? Vishnu Govind. Arey, today Gita Gyan we got from Vishnu Govind himself. Wow, wonderful. So we'll follow Vishnu's principle, isn't it? Next part is, but when the higher self one does not know, then the self is the self's greatest foe. When you don't know that there is a divine inside of you, then that is the biggest enemy. When you say, you start questioning, no, your divinity. If you are able to, with your strong mind, you are able to push yourself from all distractions, then you have a friend inside. Your mind is your friend. Your mind is not distracting you. But if the mind tries to tell you that you don't have divinity inside of you, you are not divine, you are not capable, all these are the suggestions of a foe. This is very important. This is another type of Kurukshetra which takes place inside of us. So this we can remember, isn't it? We want the friend inside. We have to keep Govinda inside, or give Govind's example, or Vishnu Govind's example. Alright. Because if you are not the doer, as Madam has told, no, in Karma Yoga, you must offer to the divine. Naham karta, harihi karta. Who is going to bear the consequences? The divine only. And the responsibility is on whom? If you are a leader of a particular project, then you have so much worries. Okay, oh, how do I manifest this project? How is it going to happen? I want efficiency to be right. But I think you had an experience in floral meditation. Somebody shared, one participant shared her experience. She said it was like we were not planning anything. It happened on its own. Because doer was somebody else. So planning is going to be done by the divine. You just have to go with the flow. Gita Atmanaha prashantasya paramatma samahitaha. This is the 7th shloka of the 6th adhyaya. Gita Atmanaha prashantasya paramatma samahitaha shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoho. The victor of the self means the one who has conquered, he has understood the secret of enemy mind and friend mind, and he has conquered all the lower pulls. He is like Hanuman only, Jitendra. He has controlled his indriyas. Such a person is a victor. The victor of the self experiences the perfect peace. And in that greatest oneness, all fluctuations cease, neither in heat or cold, nor in loss or gain, and in honor or dishonor finds not he glory or pain. How beautiful it is. Means this person is so peaceful, this person is so calm that all the fluctuations have disappeared. Normally what happens? Something good happens, we get excited, no? And then something bad happens, we start crying and all. I had a nephew, his birthday celebration was very interesting to observe. There was a beautiful cake which he wanted. So that cake came in front of him and he was like he's having 2 springs under his legs, bouncing continuously, cake, cake, cake. Now is this the right way? Maybe for a child it's okay, but in excitement, his hand hit the cake. And what happened? That cake went flying, breaking rules of gravity only for a few seconds. And then fell down. It fell down and you should see the face. From a happy smile, it has become upside down. What happened? Because of what? Excitement, uncontrolled excitement. This is not only kids. Many athletes, you see even very recently in the Asian Olympics or Asian Games also, an athlete started celebrating before the finish line. Yeah, I have won because I've spent so many years in practice. And anybody in the sports field here who is very good? Yes, I think everybody knows, no, when do you slow down in a 100-meter race? Yeah, actually our coach had think that the finish line is a little bit more ahead, because people see the finish line, their speed comes down. So you start running and never slow down until the action is complete. You can slip anytime, anything can happen, remain alert and keep functioning with full concentration. That is exactly how we should be in life also. Until the work is complete, do not think that the work is over. So like that, fluctuations, whether things happen according to your wish or not. I met a scientist who worked for 5 years. He got a grant for doing a big research. He had a beautiful hypothesis which got central funding. That hypothesis he was sure is going to come true. After 5 years of research, the research showed that the hypothesis is false. What will you do? You'll feel bad, no? Yeah, work again. And you know what he said? I'm going to publish a paper that this hypothesis is false. He said, I learned that this does not work, and he published a paper on the same. And in science, there is no victory or loss. Science always moves ahead. He said, I have now proven it does not work if I do a particular treatment this way. Though not his anticipation, but that is the balance. It is required in life also. Very close to our factory, there was a farmer who is growing sesame seeds. This sesame seeds, I only had an eye on them because I wanted the seeds for extracting the cold pressed soil. So I was watching it grow happily. He's going to come, now we are going to, get it. And I was seeing the crop had also grown to a good height. I was just waiting, and suddenly harvesting time came, and I asked, what happened? He said, I have got only this much harvest which I can take only for my home. I am not selling in the market also. I was sad. I said, what happened? He said, no, rains fell a few days back, so it is all gone. I was only feeling so sad, probably because of my expectation, no? But when I looked at him, he was smiling. I asked him, sir, how are you smiling? Because I've seen you work so hard. I've seen you work hard in the farm for so many months. And he said, this is the divine's will. That was a perfect answer. He said, when you are in farming, you are dependent on the divine. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's no big deal. It is life. Let's go on. See, I am watching and feeling sad because probably of my expectation. But look at the person who is doing work. Can we not call this like a karma yoga without expectation? Yes or no? This is how we have to do, because when you do this, you are ready for all situations. You are ready for the divine. We talked about surrendering to the divine, isn't it? So we should surrender properly, because then only we can go ahead. Neither in heat nor in cold, in loss or gain, honor or dishonor also. Somebody says you are the most brilliant person. You should not suddenly, I'm so brilliant. Because next person will tell you are a fool. If you are attached to the brilliance given to you, you are going to be attached to the foolishness also. And that's why the yogi keeps a balance, and we are all trying to be yogis of the way of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. These are all integral yogis. Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, all are going to be integrated, isn't it? How can you do it? Only when you have properly surrendered. So Krishna tells us different ways. You can study this adhyaya because there's a little shortage of time also. We will look at this maybe later, I think. But this adhyaya of 6th adhyaya of the Gita is very good to study. Krishna tells about meditation also. He says how should your place be. If you have a big room, brilliant. Let that room be the common room for meditation. If you don't have a big room, you have a tile. Let that tile be your tile for meditation, and don't change around like monkeys keep changing trees, no? We are doing dhyana, so we have to leave monkey nature aside. One place, sthira asana. One place you have to be there. It should not be too high, not too low. Slowly, when you do this with regularity, that place starts getting a consciousness of its own. You might be frustrated, and before you do meditation only, because that is the place you do meditation, that becomes charged and you become quiet moving in. So how can the asana be? Krishna is not fussy at all. He says you can use kusha grass, or darbha mat can be. Nowadays we can get darbha mats, or a natural cloth, or deer skin. I don't know, if we do it we might risk going to jail. But so kusha grass or cloth, keep an asana, sit down. So can we all take one decision that we are going, like we already took a sankalpa of looking at man, sharir, pran, buddhi. Can we add that we will also take the sankalpa of meditating sometime? Yes? Why is everybody so sad? It's not so bad actually. Can we try it? It's going to be fun after a while. Guarantee. You will say, Sushrut bhaiya jhoot nahi bol rahe the afterwards. If you try it for 2 weeks. Yeah? Okay, that's a double thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, fine. So with this, just why we need to do, why should we practice yoga? I think the reason we need to do yoga, Krishna says, Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha yasmin sthito na dukkhena guruna api vichalyate. This is the gain of gains. What is this? This is referring to that. I think he talked about, our friend shared about the ananda which is there, which will allow you to even become slave of the divine, because that great ananda comes from service to the divine. So that ananda is the gain of gains. This is the gain of gains, the greatest treasure. Nothing is greater or even comparable in measure, meaning all the wealth of the world also put together is tuchha in comparison to this supreme Satchidananda. Krishna, Sri Aurobindo says, truth, consciousness, bliss, it's a trinity. You get one, all two will also come after as you keep walking ahead. So this is the gain of gains, the greatest treasure. Nothing is greater or even comparable in measure. When the unperturbed state is thoroughly gained, even by the worst grief, one can't be disturbed or pain. How beautiful. It's like a complete protection from, no news is bad news. Every news will only be a news. You will listen to it and move ahead. You will not get, because if you get disturbed, you will not be able to move on.
Vinod ji is saying that this is one of the most important verses, students, and every student must learn this verse and the meaning. आप लोग आराम से लिख लो और meaning भी poetic form में लिखा है सुश्रुत भैया ने. Meaning is not copied from any book. It is written in poetry form by Sushrut Bhaiya. So please write it down and learn it. This whole book he wants to give to everybody also. He has written the entire Gita, he has explained in poetry form. Yeah? So write it down, and according to Vinod ji, you all must learn this verse with the meaning. It's a very important verse for you.
And this is when you are not disturbed by any news, that's a great happiness you will always get. A friend of mine became an advocate in Supreme Court after completing his mechanical engineering. How is it possible? No, it is, he got some bad news of certain things and it disturbed him, but he did not totally get disturbed. He went on going ahead. Meaning sometimes you feel, what is, like a friend of mine, he failed in maths in class 8th. He failed in maths because of 3 marks. He was crying so much as if life is over. I also, because he was my best friend, I tried to see if he can get grace marks. Totaling mistake has happened by the teacher or something. But maths teacher won't make totaling mistake, no. So I could not find any mistake. And then what happened was, that result was so bad that his entire family, everybody talked bad and everything. And I just saw that it had suddenly, numbers had changed as if, well, calculation steps are all correct. But for some reason, 4 has decided to become 7. 7 has become 9 without logic. And that's all. But today he is one of the topmost CAs in Pondicherry. Look at the transformation. The boy who was crying in class 8 for not being able to do simple mathematical problems is now dealing with crores of rupees, movement, everything. How is it possible? Well, it is by efforts, and maybe we don't need to cry like him, no? If something bad happens. Instead, we can learn from experience, and every experience is an experience to grow. So this is very important. Let us go to the next shloka. Tam vidyad dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sanyitam sa nishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvanna chetasa. It is from the sufferings that mind has to be freed. A union with the divine is yoga's true aim and need. An inseparable union must be courageously sought, cheerfully bracing the hurdles by which the path is wrought. Means, what is the need? Why do we walk the path of yoga? It's like the mother says, you do it or you'll be forced to do it. Some situations will come and make you go on that path. Suddenly some attachment will be taken away and then it will hurt. Do you like to do anything on force? By force? No, isn't it? It's naturally doing it is always easier. And it's always fun because you are doing it by your free will. So what should we do? Why should we do yoga itself? The main reason for yoga sadhana is because you want to free yourself from suffering. Is there anybody in our group here who has not experienced pain? Anybody has not experienced pain? Mental, physical, emotional, something or the other. Everybody has experienced or not? We all have experienced pain. It is a common language of human beings. We all experience pain sometime or the other. So that is something which we cannot change, isn't it? Suddenly yesterday I saw someone was running and he fell and he got wounded in the leg. It is not in your hand, but I was seeing how beautifully he was coming and telling, madam, see, I fell here and I got hurt. He's not suffering. He's not suffering. Otherwise, little bit wound. There's no blood also. It's like, oh, I fell down. For 2 hours, 3 hours, one person will keep crying. Now, this is what suffering, isn't it? Suffering should not be attached to the pain. Otherwise, that little pain becomes magnified. There was a great yogi called Ramana Maharshi. He learned how to turn off physical pain also. He told the doctor, I don't want anesthesia for the operation. And it was performed. It's like there's a switch. No? We have a switch for turning light on and off. Yogis have that switch to turn off suffering.
When Sri Aurobindo was in the jail, that you all saw the beautiful movie day before, so he had already gotten into the higher consciousness by then. And red ants were full in that chamber, 6 feet by 9 feet. And when the red ants would bite him, he would feel that it is Krishna. It is Krishna's little love bites that are there. And he wouldn't feel any pain.
Yeah, so beautiful, isn't it? So I think we all must understand that we don't need to suffer. And that is why yoga sadhana is going to be, it has to be done. Self-control, control your mind so you can remove suffering from your life.
Can I just add one thing?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.
Ah, so beautifully said. Pain, can we repeat this? Can we all repeat what madam said?
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. We can decide whether we want to suffer or not. Pain to aayega jayega, life lambi hai.
Yes, absolutely. This is something very special. We have an Usha Maji who got a stroke. After stroke, she was paralyzed. She was having a lot of pain. She's still a part of our, we have something called Delight group, Krishna's Delight. She said her experience, because the pain does not go. She says, when my leg pains too much and it's unbearable, I say, Krishna, please sit on the other leg. She's got physical, she's so old, she's got so much physical pain, but she is experiencing this. And she wrote her first book last year. In that first book release, Krishna got a date, and the date of release we did not know. It was the same day she got stroke 17 years ago. And she called it Child, dedicating it to Krishna, whom she sees as a little child. So can you see that somebody with chronic pain is able to push that pain away by the power of the mind? This is something we must all, we have so many great yogis in Bharat, we can learn wherever we go. But learning is important, no? But for learning, we should listen, we should be alert, we should be attentive. Otherwise, the saint says never praised in his own land, because nobody is having the time. So here we have time now, you have Dr. Sampanna Mishra Ji. Take every moment you have to learn. Remember his words. You have it on YouTube, you can watch it again on YouTube. I'm sure everybody has access to the internet. So you can re-watch it again and again and learn, because that is the way we can say. And you see, courage is required on the path of spirituality. It's okay, I'll repeat it. An inseparable union, yes, an inseparable union is to be courageously sought. Why do we need courage? Yes, it is the Adhyatma is the marga of the people who are brave. Who can sacrifice everything to the divine? Only somebody who is brave, no? Somebody who is brave can offer even the most precious attachments also, it's okay. Divine, I offer to you Swaha, Agneya Swaha, Agneya Idanna Mama. Not mine, it is belonging to the divine. And just watch the transformation, because divine is not a hoarder, no? He's not hoarding everybody's possessions. He doesn't have a warehouse or anything like that. He just wants us to let go of the attachments. But to let go, we have to sometimes be courageous and brace the hurdles with a smile, because we are looking at how Gita as a way of life. We will look at how to make Krishna our friend. If we can make Krishna our friend, we can always have the joy and bliss of life. Means there's a difference. Sri Aurobindo says, those who are conscious experience what is the Leela of Krishna. Those who are unconscious are trapped in Maya. Big difference, isn't it? The Maya and Leela. Leela is the joy, the Ananda, the celebration. Madam also selected a beautiful shloka, Yad Ashnosi. She said so nicely, your parties also, take Krishna with you to your party. Why? Krishna cannot dance. Krishna cannot celebrate. Of course he can. And when Krishna enters the party's level only will go one step higher. So all those moments you have to experience the joy, but with courage. And hurdles come, don't cry, because we will see 12th Adhyay. Krishna likes devotees who are smiling. He has only told in the Gita. We will look at the 12th Adhyay later on in the next session. I'll just complete one shloka and we conclude our session for if anybody has any questions. We looked at the integral yoga, so there is a small reference on this yoga which Krishna wants us to follow. Sri Aurobindo's made it more clear for us how we have to follow it. In the light of Sri Aurobindo's essays on the Gita, this rhyme is there of the 46th shloka. Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi, jnanibhyo api matodhikaha, karmebhyashchadhiko yogi, tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna. Krishna is telling Arjuna to become yogi in the middle of battlefield. Not because Arjuna has to open Arjuna meditation classes in Kurukshetra. He has to become the yogi who is aware, who is going to be participating. He's going to have the rush of adrenaline when he is going to take part in the battle. It is going to be dynamic movement, but dynamic as well as conscious movement, because he has to become the nimitta, the instrument of the divine. So what is Krishna saying here? He says, in comparison to the firm ascetic, he is greater. Amongst the men of knowledge and works too, he is better. He who practices yoga integrally is most superior for me. And so, a yogi is what? O Arjuna, I ask you to be. So Krishna is asking Arjuna to become the yogi who is completely connected with the divine at all times. Whether karma, jnana, bhakti, can we divide these three into completely separate paths, or they're all interconnected? Very beautiful. Yes, they're all interconnected. Damle ji says, jnana yukta karma, bhakti se karna chahiye.
Oh, how beautiful.
Your conscious action has to be done with bhakti and love. And that, when you do that, you practice integral yoga. And Krishna says somebody who is practicing this way is the greatest. He is greater than the one who has done. Sometimes we get intimidated by people who have done great works. We feel, I can never go to this point. Don't have to worry about it. Somebody's bhakti may be great, somebody's jnana may be great, somebody's karma may be great. But your surrender is great, you don't have to worry about anything. Krishna gave the darshan to Arjuna because he was a great tapasvi. Did Krishna give Arjuna the darshan because Arjuna was a great tapasvi, or a great jnani, or a great karma because he has done great yajnas? What was the reason? Surrender, beautifully said. That is all we need to know. So I think if we learn to surrender, we'll get self-control also, no?
जो आपने लास्ट वर्स किया,
I'll repeat it
इसमें हाँ योगी भव अर्जुन,
That's
तो
okay.
वो अगर बच्चों से आप कहलाएंगे एज अ कलेक्टिव प्रेयर टू द डिवाइन कि हम सब योगी बनना चाहते हैं, बट नॉट द योगी हु सिट्स इन द माउंटेन इन तपस्या, बट योगी जो जीवन जी रहा है,
Okay.
है ना, वेरी मच हियर इन जयपुरिया एंड इन लाइफ, वो एस्पिरेशन के साथ में लेट अस रिपीट दिस मंत्र आफ्टर सुश्रुत भैया. ओके.
हरि ओम. तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्माद्योगी भवार्जुन. In comparison to the firm ascetic, he is greater. Amongst men of knowledge and works too, he is better. He who practices yoga integrally is most superior for me. And so, a yogi is what? O Arjuna, I ask you to be. Alright, with this, if anybody has any questions?
If Krishna asks us to be a yogi or do meditation and all, so does it mean that Supreme is even bound by expectations?
This is when your teacher tells you, beta acha padho, exam mein pass ho, or acha karo. Is that an expectation of the teacher? Or it's an advice? He's beautifully answered. Yes? It's an advice. Krishna, no, is not binding anybody in the Bhagavad Gita. After 18 chapters, you know what Krishna tells? Yathechasi tatha kuru. He says, I have told you 18 chapters. You are free to do. If Arjuna chose, no, ki boss, thank you for the beautiful pravachan, I want to run away from the battle. If Arjuna told that, even if he told that, Krishna would not have felt bad because he would have found somebody else, at Arjuna or somebody else, or Yudhishthira, any name. Krishna does not, God is not dependent on human beings. but human beings are definitely dependent for this aspect. So this was not a binding aspect, it's actually a way to liberate oneself from the binds of nature. You are not, do you get angry on purpose?
Sometimes.
Huh? Sometimes. You get frustrated on purpose.
No. Sometimes not.
No, that is a tantrum. No, mommy, I want chocolate. That is not frustration. Frustration is great disappointment because something that you wish does not happen. Do you purposely want something to not happen? No, isn't it? It happens naturally. That means you are bound by the consequence of an action. So Krishna is saying how to become free. He is not binding here. So it is not a binding. Is that clear? Yeah?
You said that the God wants us to do karma. So like we have to do our work and offer it to the God.
Yeah, okay.
But sir, many times in movies and like in our normal life, we see that the Basris who meditate or like give their whole life to the like always meditate, go to Himalayas, they get the gods many a times, like उनकी दर्शन उनको जल्दी होता है.
जो कर्म में लगा है उसको लेट होता है ना.
पर जो कर्म में लगे रहते हैं उनको बहुत धीरे मिलते हैं उनके मुकाबले.
Actually गीता में उल्टा बोला है. What he is saying is an interesting question, that those yogis who are spending so much time, only they get the darshana, but those who are, it is a perception that he is saying, but it is not a fact, because Krishna says it is a greater challenge. Is it easy to meditate in a beautiful hill station? Is it easy to meditate next to your brother or sister? No. So which is greater challenge? Meditating in a hill station or meditating in the midst of so much disturbances around you? It is that, isn't it? So when you do actions here, same way, these challenges when come in the world, no? They are important. If you see, Krishna gives example, he had so many yogis he could give example of. Means Krishna gives an example as a standard, gold standard for us to follow. He had so many examples. Narada was there, Asita was there, Devala, Vyasa, so many gods, so many rishis. But you know whose name he gives as an example? He says Janaka Raja. He says first example, only 2 examples Krishna gives. He has got an array. The one who is himself having so many vibhutis, representations. He gives only 2 examples in the Gita to follow. One is Raja Janaka. Raja Janaka was somebody, he was a rich sage. Our Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was called Srimanta Yogi. The rich sage, the exalted one. The next example is Krishna gives his own example. Look at me. I have everything in the world, yet I am doing my duty, sun or rain. So he has not given an example of a yogi also, no? Means everybody is a yogi, but the traditional one that you feel who is leaving action. Krishna has always said action supersedes inaction. So got a point? Yeah? Alright.
Bhaiya, did God create the right or wrong, or did we? Like the laws and the right and wrong. Did we or did
God? Laws were created by man.
But
laws
the right or wrong?
Laws, this is good. You should not do this, you should do this. This has been told by man, no? Behavioral. But what is right and what is wrong, it is, we have a freedom to do actions. If we do wrong actions, we only understand it, no? Is God coming and telling you did wrong action? Okay. So that divine has not imposed upon us. Our actions have taken us in that particular direction. Means there is it's like punya and papa. If you say divine is beyond na punyam, na papam, na saukyam, na dukkham. He is beyond all of this. But whatever is, if you want to understand what is right, what is wrong, anything that is taking you towards the divine, that is right. Anything that is taking you away from divine, that is wrong. Don't have to study this particular, under this context. All those rules, let the advocates see the rules, no. Our understanding is going towards the divine is right, going against the divine is wrong, not because we are going to get punishment, because we cannot progress. We will suffer, no. We don't want to suffer, so we walk on that path. Yeah? Like somebody says you don't get wet in the rain. Your mother says, no, don't go outside in the rain, take an umbrella. You'll say, no, I don't believe it, it's not wrong. I want freedom. So you go once, twice, you get wet heavily in the rain and then you don't wipe your head also. You'll catch a cold or not? Yes or no? So that is what, that is just a consequence. No imposition. Krishna does not, that's the beauty of Sanatana Dharma, that is the beauty of Gita also. You talk to 15 minutes to your friend, you expect your friend to listen to you. You get very angry. I told for 15 minutes, this person didn't do what I did. But here boss has talked for 18 chapters. After 18 adhyayas, he just says, Yat echasi tatha kuru. You are free to do. And you know what Arjuna chooses? What does he choose? He gets alert, he gets aware, he forgets the depression, he becomes back to that Mahabaho. He just says with confidence and pride, he says, Nashtor moha smrutir labdva tvat prasadan mayachyuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. He says, my memory has returned. I am no more considering myself a weakling. By your grace, Krishna, I have chosen by my freedom to walk on your path. So that imposition is not there.
Why do some yogis meditate on mountains where Krishna tells that a yogi who is someone...
Sorry,
Why do some yogis meditate on mountains? Like some sannyasins, they like do tapasya on mountains on Himalayas.
Do you like idli or dosa?
Dosa.
So why does your friend not like idli? Or why does your friend like idli? Can we ask such questions? Or why do you not like idli and dosa? It's your choice, isn't it? So some people have a choice to go on the mountains, but if they leave their duty aside, then it is wrong. That is not going to give them any leaving your duty aside. Why we should not worry about somebody else doing a particular? It's not our job. Our job is to focus on our own. It's a preference. Somebody may feel this, and Sri Aurobindo has told, if at all the French Revolution took place, it was because there was a man on Indian snows meditating upon liberty, equality, fraternity. Each person has their role, no? Everybody will not be in the same place, no?
Sir, would they get like some special attention from the divine? Or
Special attention is everywhere. Problem is we are taking a lot of tension, so we are not getting it.
And also, it is possible that they need that in their life. There is a phase when they need to go to the Himalayas, and then they come back to life. They come back to physical life because they need that little time for solitude, and then they come back. So we don't know. As Bhaiya is saying, it is their choice that now I want to go to the Himalayas, meditate for some time in solitude, and come back and practice here in actual life. So we don't know.
Thank you.
It is their choice. Yeah?
The connection with the world should not be lost. That is important. Even the Nath Sampradayas, the Alak Niranjan, they say go to the forest, but they used to come back to the villages and offer advice for, as Madam has told, Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha is the aspect to give the direction. Sometimes you need a higher perspective, no? So you go get a higher perspective and then use that for Loka Sangraha.
So you told that to control our emotions, we can meditate and concentrate. But sometimes this meditation also does not help. And we try to control it, but then it comes up again. So we get more annoyed. So what to do in this situation?
This is beautiful actually. This is Arjuna's question also. He says, Chanchalam hi manaha Krishna. My mind, all you are saying, you gave me this thing. He says, I understood nothing. The way Arjuna speaks, it's like when you are teaching, your geography teacher teaches you something and you say, I didn't understand this. But if the student says, I don't understand geography at all, what can be said? Arjuna says, I don't understand anything. That time Krishna says, Abhyasena vairagyena, meaning practice again and again. Or like simple way how my Guruji told me, bete kam se kam acting karo. Sit and pretend you are meditating for 10 minutes regularly. 10 minutes focus, try to focus. Slowly the pretense will disappear. There's a beautiful story of a thief. He was running because the king's guards were chasing him for some robbery he has done. So he goes left, right, and then he suddenly says, now I'm going to get caught. He suddenly pretends to be a yogi. He changes his appearance and sits down. That time the guard comes and asks, have you seen this thief? He says, no. And just that guard moves away, another person comes and asks, Maharaj, I want your advice. So now he has to keep, because the guard is watching if he's really a yogi or not. So now he keeps that bearing, and since he's in a state of worry that he's going to get caught, he decides, let me be here for some more time. Over some time, because of this, he was sincere in his action. Slowly he gets transformed into a real yogi. The thief is really gone forever. So don't worry. Sit for meditation. Don't get frustrated. Without frustration, keep trying, then we'll go.
What role does Gita play in developing the ability to discern right over wrong?
Same thing. Gita tells us how to discriminate. If you start meditating, you will understand, oh, this is just my desire. It is a lower desire. I am having a cold. Should I go and eat ice cream? No. How did you tell me?
Because we know it's not good.
But the chocolate ice cream is so wonderful.
But
Should I eat it?
It would not be good for that time.
It has got double layers. Will you ask me? Yeah.
Harm our health. It would not be good for our health.
So where did you get this ability to discriminate? From the quietude, isn't it? You don't have a desire for that. Your desire is not. If I had too much desire for that, like, theek hai, cold or no cold, I can see this double layers only. Then what will happen? I will spoil my health. No. So when you are calm. So Gita tells us how to become calm. One of the ways is how Madam said, do karma yoga, become detached, practice meditation, don't get trapped, offer, remember to the divine. So Gita keeps telling so many things.
All our gods have lived a meaningful life, which we call in Hindi Yagyamay Jeevan.
Wow.
And people who had the courage to unlock their divine will have always succeeded. Now our generation has not even the courage to get water from the kitchen. So how can we?
You are only talking about your generation.
So how can we defeat our fears and fight for the to obtain the pure and sacred divine will?
No, by doing the action. You see, every time they keep telling, my generation was told my generation was the worst generation. Your generation is going to be told yours is the worst. Some generations later they will tell. Even Krishna, people did not like him in his generation. They're saying, see, he's not having a beard. He's not having mustache like other yogis. See, what is he interpreting the Vedas? He is giving his own interpretation. No, you have to transcend. You have to become the example, no? You become the example, you will make 100,000 people follow if you become the example. So, generation, there's nothing wrong with generation. Actually, there is a joke in Maharashtra. They say, people say Pune is not like how it was before. Even a 4-year-old child says it is not like how it is before. What has the 4-year-old seen? Not much, but it has become a fashion kind of thing. Namliji, my Guruji told he was born in 1947. He said when he was young, his adults used to say that your generation has got spoiled. That time he said when he was, I think, 12, he immediately told, your generation only spoiled us, don't blame me. So let us not fall into the game of making generations, generalizing generations. Let us become the example.
So on a serious note, our generation has been pampered much more.
No, I know many in your generation who don't get pampered also. So if you're getting pampered, don't be happy that you're getting pampered, only don't get spoiled.
So that's the main point. We had to be like others, so we can get better and better.
No, don't,
like Sri Aurobindo,
don't pray to go to jail. Don't pray to go to jail. Don't pray to lose the pampering which you're getting. Okay? Sometimes you should take it as a blessing that you have and become very strong. Okay, it's really important because sometimes I don't have difficulties, so I am not succeeding. Never ask for difficulties. You have a conducive atmosphere, make it a self-responsibility. See, I have all the more responsibility. I am so much more luckier, then I have to use my privilege for that.
Now, because of this, like everyone, our parents have pampered us so much that we are now drowning in the sea. So, and we don't have the courage now. I think so.
Okay.
Most of the people here have just come in the school for nothing, for not a purpose made. Just like, अरे है तो है, कोई बात नहीं.
No, that is good that you identified it, that there is a need. But when you identify it, work extra hard, no? Don't worry about the full generation. You become the example. Don't worry about others right now. When you become the example, people will get inspired or not.
Yes.
And you will not become an example in one day. There will be people throwing stones at you, people will be making fun of you, people will be mocking you. Sometimes I know people who have been mocked for a decade. You are the worst person, black sheep of the family. And then suddenly somebody does whitewashing after 10 years and that black sheep becomes white sheep. You were the star from the beginning, I knew you will do. The people change. That is the outer people. You decided now, you want to do it. Don't worry, Mama is pampering me, happy, all right, but no, I will find the courage to take my glass of water. Okay, I will find the courage to do other things, greater things. Do not have to worry about that.
You can also do that, na? Pamper your mama, pamper your sister, pamper your family members. You turn the table on them. You start spoiling them.
Thank you, ma'am.
Give you a chance to serve. You'll get a chance to serve, na?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
So with this we conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Any questions, we can always have them later. I'll be here today, so you can ask anything. Yeah, all right, let us conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna Mandir Jagat Guru.